D'Ambrosio, which is close.
Hang on a second. When you got this thing talking to you? When you're hearing computer speech, it pronounces things weird sometimes. Sorry about that.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah, I use the way my computer pronounces your last name.
Oh gosh, okay.
Yeah. Like I said, when I was going through the whole flashcast looking for who I wanted to try to get the interview, IMDb, that's how I pronounced the last name. Sorry about that, Vito.
Oh my God. Okay, not a problem.
Yep.
Not a problem.
So thank you for doing the interview tonight.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
And before I actually ask the questions, I just want to say thank you. Because the Flash TV show has a very special place in my heart.
Oh, that's great to hear, and it's my pleasure.
Yep.
Thanks for reaching out.
Yep, so how did you get started in acting?
Good question. I guess, I would have to say my very first paying job, was an usher at a movie theater. And I've always felt, a really close connection to films growing up. And I started by walking backstage in my high school auditorium my sophomore year in high school. And it was right in the middle of a rehearsal for a musical called Kismet.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, pretty cool in hindsight. I was meeting a friend. I had a new friend, Paul Colucci, and he was in charge of tech. He was building sets, and it was pretty awesome. Sophomore year, this guy had blueprints, power tools, and all the wood and stock he needed. So I walked backstage, and I was like, wow, do you need help? So I just started hanging around, and the next thing I know, the following play, I auditioned for it and got in. And so that's what started, really, the acting bug.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Let's see, how did you get the role in the Untouchables? How did that come about?
That's a good question. I auditioned, like everybody else, I auditioned for like a month. It was a really interesting process. I heard that through the grapevine, and Chicago has a small theater community and a small, artistic community, which is very tightly knit. And so I heard through the grapevine that they were going to be coming into town and looking for Italian-American actors. When I finally got the audition, it was like reading not even a full sentence. It was just these, phrases cut off by Capone. And I auditioned for a month. Every week I would get a call saying, they want to see you again. They want to see you again. So it was kind of a roller coaster ride. And then finally I got to meet De Palma. And he really didn't say much. He was sitting at his desk, and they taped every interview, and he just took notes. And then the last interview at the end of the month was Brian and Art Linson, the producer, who I think it was his brainchild. And the two of them were in the room, and they had me read the scene from the train station.
Oh, wow.
Which, and I just dug in. I just dove in. I just totally loved the material and the research I had to do for it. But it was really interesting because they hired me originally for 3 days, and then my agent calls back and says, I think they're going to use you again. Don't go anywhere. Well, it turned out that De Palma basically put together my character by piecing together scenes. Because in the movie there were 4 untouchables, and then on the opposite end of the court you had Capone and Frank Nitti as the only distinguishable characters. So what De Palma ended up doing was piecing together various scenes to create my character, and so I ended up working on it like 8 weeks practically.
That's amazing. I actually need to see if the Untouchables is an audio description yet.
I don't know.
Like I said, I just discovered the joy of movies and audio description for people who are blind and visually impaired, so I'm getting to rediscover a lot of movies again since I've lost my sight.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that about your sight, but it's wonderful that that's available, and I'm glad to hear that they're making more projects available.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. So, you've played a lot of
script. Really, I'm trying to think if the first. No, I did play cops. I was in Chicago. I grew up in Chicago. That's where I started, and I did some TV shows that were shot there. When I got cast in Flash, the original Flash, I had actually worked with the producers prior to that. We did a pilot that didn't go called Human Target, I think, which received a later incarnation. But at that point, they had cast me as a hitman who had just given up caffeine. And I think...
that's me every morning.
Yeah, right. So they saw the humor in that, because right after the Untouchables, I was getting called in for every hitman, every hood, every thug role in LA. I moved to LA after the Untouchables. Anyway, long story short, I think they saw something about, potential for comedy, and after I did that pilot is when they asked me to be part of the Flash pilot. And, the Bellos and Murphy ended up being sort of comic relief and, really bringing a different dimension to the show, which really, I'm very grateful for.
Actually, when I watch those episodes back now, the Bellos Murphy stuff is probably, and this may be as I've gotten older, some of my favorite stuff in the episodes.
Oh, thank you.
There's, especially the insults that were thrown back and forth. You ate all the donuts, you pig.
Yeah, right.
That's what always stands out with me. It's like, Murphy's just like, Alan, how much for the doggy in the window? And then you guys are looking for the donuts, and it's just like, you ate all the donuts?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, just some stuff like that. It's just, now, I guess, as I run a little older, and I'm working with a partner, it just, from time to time, it really just holds up.
Well, you're getting wiser, as they say. There you go.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So, what was it like coming back for the current version of the Flash on CW, being upgraded to Mayor Bellos?
Yeah, it was a surprise, I'll tell you. I don't think that's traditionally how reboots of shows operate. So I really commend the creators and showrunners of this generation. That they were actually, we found out later that they were working at Warner Brothers. Some were interns at Warner Brothers while we were shooting the original series, and they were fans of the show. And very grateful to them for reaching out and asking to participate. It was a surprise, and it was a very pleasant surprise. I have to say, I'm really proud of what they're doing up there. I think they're really hitting it out of the ballpark. The storylines, the characters, I think it starts with the writing, and then all the actors in the show are just wonderful and amazing. So.
It's phenomenal. And, I had a chance to meet John Wesley Shipp a couple weeks ago at a comic book convention, and I was nervous because, the whole thing of don't meet your heroes popped in my head for a second. But he was one of the most nicest people I've ever met.
Isn't that right? That's amazing. It's very cool.
Yeah, just to see him back in TV. Will we see, and of course no spoilers, but will we see Mayor Bellos return at any time?
Well, I don't think it's any secret that I just shot episode 4 of season 4, and I'm actually going in tomorrow to do some ADR, and I found out that that's airing on the Halloween night. So,
nice.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that I would certainly welcome a return. So it was a blast. It was by far the largest appearance that I've had on the new series. So it was
that's
really
great.
nice.
And I kind of wish that they would bring the entire cast in on one of the other Earths for one last big hurrah to get everyone on screen one last time.
Right? That would be cool. That would be very cool.
Because, like I said, it seems like you've all been scattered throughout the last 3 years. What was that like working with Biff?
Biff was a hoot, and some of the lines that you pointed to were actually ad-libs, because Biff was a stand-up comedian, and so that's his background. So he brought a lot of the impromptu. He loved, playing around, horsing around, and making little changes like that. So some of the barbs and stuff were right up his alley, So he sort of, I think, really enjoyed that aspect of it. We were always kind of at times butting heads and at times just cracking each other up.
That's great. I really would hope that eventually that show gets put on audio descriptive. Because like I said, almost 30 years later, it's still.
Oh, don't say that.
I did the math the other day. I was crying myself. What was working on the Unusual Suspects like?
I had no idea. I had not read the script. It was fun. I got to meet some wonderful actors again. Benicio del Toro, I remember we were hanging out in the makeup trailer. We never worked together, but I just worked one day on that, and I remember meeting the director, whose name escapes me at the moment. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
I guess I won't ask what it was like working with Bryan Singer, though.
Bryan Singer, thank you. That's it. I met him, I auditioned for him, and then I didn't hear anything, and then a couple of weeks went by, and I got a call to be part of the show, and I thought, cool. But I had literally no idea. I had not read the script. I think they were protecting the script, so I don't know if anybody got to read the whole thing except the main characters, and it was fun. It was a one-day's job, and it was great to then go to the theaters and see it, and it was just the best thing was watching the audience's reaction, and then all the accolades it received afterwards was sort of icing on the cake.
Yeah, like I say, I haven't seen it in a couple of years, but it is such a fun movie to watch. So what do you, outside of Mayor Bellos, do you have any projects coming out in the near future that you can...
Nothing that I can really talk about. There's some things that where I have to keep hush-hush, but I'm working on developing some material of my own. And, of course, auditions come and go, so always keeping a door open for other projects. And hoping that I'm very interested to see what The Flash is going to do with the mayor. After the episode airs, I think you might have a better idea of what I'm talking about.
Cool. Like I said, I cannot, because because then my other dream interview won't come true if I ever get in trouble.
Okay.
My two interviews, my two dream interviews right now are Grant and Mark Hamill.
Oh, great.
And
got some good goals there.
Yeah, and Mark Hamill is I actually was just while I was waiting for you, I was actually looking for the Trial of the Trickster clip.
Yeah.
Just
there's another, just phenomenal human being. Mark is so cool. He's just so down to earth, and I'm sure if you're able to reach him, he would agree to be interviewed. So don't let that.
No, actually, New York Comic Con is right around the corner, so I'm going to exchange business cards and take it from there.
Oh, good. Awesome.
Because IMDb had like 8 or 9 different contacts, and I was like, okay. I'm still trying to figure out some of the how to contact people aspect for proper channels. Sometimes it's it's with the modern world, it's easier than ever, so sometimes it's just like okay. But New York Comic Con is taking care of that. That's awesome. What advice would you give for a first-time actor and or filmmaker?
Wow. Take a fountain? No. That's, oh my gosh. Stick to your guns. Don't give up. There's a tremendous amount of rejection that goes with the business, and I think you just have to accept that that's the norm. So don't take it personal, and instead focus on where you want to go focus on what you want to create. I would guess that's, I think, the best advice I could give somebody. And there's so many stories of people, 2, 3, 5 years later, suddenly their project comes to fruition, and it's because they didn't give up. It's really, I think it's a matter of being patient and tenacious at the same time. Just hang in there,
All right, cool. I'm actually, after I graduated from the school I was telling you about, my goal, my next goal is to shoot my first short.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have a concept that I've been developing while I've been here at school, and I just looking very forward to bringing it to one of the film festivals.
That's fantastic. I really applaud you and, wish you the best in achieving that. It sounds like, I'm sure it'll be great, a great experience. So
yeah, I mean,
go for it.
And checking my checklist here. I think that wraps it up almost.
Okay. You don't want to hear about my time in prison, or just kidding?
Did you have a point? No, actually, I didn't think you
did not.
Wait a second.
On TV, I was in prison. Okay, but
that's true. Let me ask you this. What do you think of? I knew there was one question I must have got because I thought of it 5 minutes ago. What do you think of the current trend of, meet and greets at conventions?
I haven't really experienced that, so I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it since I haven't really been to one yet. I'm told there's something in the works for that, and maybe perhaps a couple of things. It's something that's interesting to me. I think I'd like to try it and see how it goes. I think it's important to acknowledge and give back to the fans, people who support the work that you're doing. I think it's critical to, acknowledge them and thank them.
It's a wonderful experience. And one company I can recommend highly is Heroes and Villains Fan Fest. A lot of your film Flash cast members were at one I was at this past weekend where I got to have 5 minutes of Miss Patton's time.
Oh, great.
Who actually
Heroes and Villains, okay.
Yeah. I wrote a letter to Candace in Braille for my homework in class, and I got her and her management team were gracious enough to let me read it to her right there.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So it's a company I really highly recommend, and once again, I really would like to end by saying thank you very much. Thank you for the last 2 decades of entertainment and inspiration, and I can't wait to see what comes of Mayor Bellos in the future.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate that sentiment and you reaching out, and continued success. I wish you the best on making your short and carrying that through. That's fantastic.
Yeah, like I said, this has been Blind Adam, the awesomesauce Comics podcast, and Blind Adam out. There we go.
Stop recording video.